and the director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival. We have an event coming up in the fall of 2022 and early November. Hope you're able to join us. We're showcasing all kinds of comedy films and videos on screen, as well as featuring great writing and screenplays. And I'm joined by one of our screenwriters who is nominated for the Best Dark Comedy Film Award, or excuse me, Best Dark Comedy Screenplay Award. And that person is Wesley Webb, a screenwriter. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Hey, Wesley.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. Entropy. Interesting story. I don't want to give it away. People ask me, they run to me in the grocery store, and I'll tell you, they're like, "What do you do for a living?" A film festival. Well, what are the films about? I just go right to the end and just ruin them all. So I'm going to let you tell us the synopsis of Entropy, so I don't give it away.
It is a satire of large institutions and corporations, that sort of thing. For years, I've heard my spouse talk about every reorg that occurred in her state government department, and it's always just a complete Dilbert zone of, okay, let's put all the data people together on one floor, and let's put all the analysts in a different department on a different floor, and people are always it's state government, so it pretty much happens every 4 years when the governor turns, or 4 or 8 years when the governor turns over. So new people get appointed at the top, they come in, they look at the org chart, and they're like, we're going to make a difference here. We're going to make things run like a business, or we're going to make things run like a nonprofit or something. So there's a constant waves of just mindless reorganization, and the people continue to do the same jobs. They're just, put in a different organizational chart every. It's just inane. The craziness of all that, I just distilled it into this short.
It's like you're boiling down the bureaucracy, I see.
Yes, bureaucracy is the operative word. And I did some work in state government, and I did some work with a big corporation, and it's pretty much the same everywhere. They get it to a certain size, and it's just a complete Dilbert zone.
So you kind of covered why you wrote this, but I mean, just recognizing that there's a problem or there's a situation is one thing. What made you sit down and say, I got to write this out for the purposes of making a future film?
Well, it was, I wrote it thinking that I would produce it at some point. I haven't got that far along, but I like to keep stuff in submission, and the Austin Comedy was open, and I'm like, what have I got that I can submit? And I thought, I haven't submitted Entropy anywhere, so I'll just stick it in and see what happens. And here I am, a finalist. But
you're doing really well. I mean, you've been at a lot of our festivals in Oregon and Texas, obviously, and the judges, no matter what group of judges I seem to put your writing in front of, they have great things to say about it, and different things, obviously, but they always have great things to say about it. But I think, the strong suit that I see is one of the things we ask on the scorecard is about, with comedies, is about, have you created a funny situation? And that's always a high mark. No matter what group I put your writing in front of, is creating those funny situations. We ask about funny characters, we ask about funny dialogue, we ask about a lot of things, but the situations, like you seem to just, and not to really compare it to other things, but you've kind of got the Office Space, Silicon Valley. Mike, are you a Mike Judge fan? Because you kind of make the whole thing seem a little, the whole situation seem just a little absurd. It's pretty funny. So,
yeah, and in the 90s, I was writing a lot of comedy for stage, and then I just sort of petered out from that. But I've got this sort of wacky view, quirky view of the universe, or society and things that go on. So I think with Film Festival Circuit, I've submitted 3 comedies. 2 of them were dark, and one of them was just a straight up comedy, and all of them, those became finalists. And then I think it was a sci-fi and a horror short that were also things that placed. I counted up this morning. I think I've been a finalist 6 times with y'all.
You're killing it, my man. You're killing it.
I don't know if that's a record or what.
It's, to be honest with you,
it helps when you have discrete.
To be honest with you, it's not. We actually have had some people just kill it. I have one person that they only submit to Houston, is the only one, and I probably got, I don't know, 11 years worth of screenplays from this one person. But you're up there. You're getting into lifetime achievement award status here pretty soon. Um, so, kind of a technical question for you. This is kind of a pick your brain question. The characters in your stories, do you kind of already envision like someone who already exists when you're making this character, or do you leave it open enough to interpretation where any actor could kind of pick it up and make it their own?
Um, Sometimes when I'm having trouble trying to get my character defined well enough, I will model on somebody I've encountered, or somebody from uh, I've got a younger brother that passed away, and he was just absolutely fearless. So I've got him sort of modeled in an action thriller piece that I've been working on off and on over the years. But some of the people in the Entropy are just corporate people that just have all these buzzwords, and if you listen to it, it makes absolutely no sense what these people are saying. But they're all invested into the whole jargon of whether it's the Sigma stuff or the total quality management stuff or whatever paradigm or management theory or fad that's running current in the corporate bureaucracy of American
Sure.
life.
I like it. Well, good stuff here. So what's next for you? What are you going into production on anything? Are you continuing to write? What's going on?
Um, I I've got an animated film I've been working on for off and on for a while. It's children's animation. It'll be a short. It's sort of more cute than edgy. And then I've got three short scripts I'd love to get to produce myself, and I'm I've been doing a lot of crew work on stuff just to build my network out here, so that I can pick the DOP or the gaffer and the makeup people that I need for this or that. But these are all short things that'll give me a chance to cut my teeth on something. Um, I'm trying to think. One of them's horror, one of them's comedy. Trying to remember what the third is off the top of
Sure.
my head, but I sort of selected them because or I've got them in mind because I think they'll be easy enough to produce, like one location type stuff or one or two locations and things. You pick up a lot working on crew. You don't want to have necessarily a 10-page short that has 10 locations in it. You just try and distill that down to something
Hmm. Hmm.
manageable. Uh, or a 5-page short with a cast of 1,000 is just not going to be um, as easy to pull off as something else. So,
Well, you definitely got to keep things in perspective based on your resources, and that's one thing about shooting independent films. You learn how to make the most of it without causing yourself a lot of problems. And yeah, locations are a big killer. They're it's if you can keep it contained, especially on a short, if you can keep it contained a little bit and just have a little bit of indoor outdoor action, but I think it becomes more
mhm.
feasible. I guess that's the word I was looking for. So, well, this has been a pleasure. It's been great to talk to you. And is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we go?
No, I'd like to thank your readers for responding so well to my material. It's sort of a little validation along this career path makes it feel like I'm headed in the right
Mm.
direction. And I like how well run your operation is. I can, you submit stuff and y'all give me the results. When you promise the results, it's not, up in the air for a week or two beyond that and stuff. And I'd love to attend in person one of these
All
days.
right. I'm sure we'll see each other at a future event. And hopefully, our events in Georgia may be a little closer, a little bit more accessible in the future. But, you know,
Could happen.
you can just
Could
do the whole
happen.
circuit with us. We'd love to have you. So, well, I appreciate you, Wesley. Thanks for taking the time to do this, and have a great weekend coming up.
You too.